Hello students, Nimrod here, and I just wanted to give you some tips about running a screening. Screenings, I've done many screenings over the years and learned from many amazing people on things to do and things not to do, mostly from experience, but also from the expertise of many other people. They can be really tricky things, but they're also fantastic ways for us to practice talking about chiropractic in a really short time frame and communicating effectively, which means getting the other person to create some change in their life that we want or desire. Generally, there's a couple of different objectives for screenings. One may be just to share the message of chiropractic, and that's fantastic, but it generally doesn't help people actually make some significant change in their life. What may be more useful is to help people go and see a chiropractor as a result of the interaction that they have with you, and especially to go and see you in your practice or the person that you're doing the screening for. If you're coming doing a screening for me, for the people to come and see me, but obviously for them to come and see you in the BCC Chiropractic Center as well. So the way that screenings work is that there's generally a booth or a stall somewhere, and there's a student or a chiropractor doing some sort of exam. But there's two other really key roles. One is someone needs to be making the appointments after the examination is made. So someone's done an exam, and the student or the chiropractor says to them, do you want to take it to the next step? Do you want to come and see me or the chiropractor in the practice? And then that appointment needs to be made. Now, that can be the same student or the same chiropractor, but usually for effectiveness and efficiency's sake, it's someone else. If you're doing a screening with me, my CA will be there making those appointments, also collecting money. And the collection of money is really important to get people to commit to the appointment. Otherwise, a lot of people will put their name down but won't have an actual commitment. So collecting money, and usually a significant amount so that they don't back out of it, is really important. So that's the second person, the person who makes the appointment and collects the money and gives the details of the appointment. And then there's another person, and this person is probably the most important role and in a way the hardest role, and that's the person outside of the booth who is attracting people to the booth or to the screening to actually do the screening, do the examination with a chiropractor or with a student. This is what you may call a grabber out in the public who is there to help the people come and be interested in doing the screening. Now, a lot of screenings happen by the person just standing out there and saying, hey, do you want a chiropractic screening? Hey, do you want a quick chiropractic exam? Hey, do you want a posture check? And that can be useful, but what we find is that the majority of people out there either don't relate to it or think, well, my posture's all right, or my back is all right, or chiropractor is not for me. And so we get a lot of misses with that. It can be useful, and the most useful bit about it is that if you say, hey, do you want a chiropractic check? Then people who actually really do want a chiropractic check are going to sign up. In other words, there's a good amount of positives for that. But what is really important is this person who is out there, the grabber, is very extroverted, very high energy, got a big smile on their face. They're being very attractive with their energy to the person that's in front of them, and they're being extremely effective in the first few seconds of meeting someone. So what that means is that when people are at a fair or at an event, they're used to a lot of people coming up to them and giving something away, trying to get their attention, trying to get their money. We need a way to do a pattern interrupt, so to stop them in their tracks, to make them think about what it is that we're doing or serving or selling, which is the screening, and to be engaged with us to go to the next step. And we'll talk about the next step in a second, which is about the actual posture check or chiropractic check or actual screening, but I really want to focus on that person who's out in the crowd grabbing, because there is a super important role and it's super important to get it right. If you don't get it right, it's a lot of energy drain for you, and it can be really frustrating for you as well. So yes, it can be useful to say, hey, do you want a chiropractic check? Hey, do you want a posture check? Hey, do you want a back check? But there's a lot of misses with that as well. What we really recommend is for you to be, of course, really friendly, really warm, and to ask the right question. So it's not about, hey, do you want a free back exam? Because that can be useful, but it's often not. We're kind of jumping too far ahead. People don't really understand that. What's useful is to stand out there with a clipboard so that you look like you're serious, that has a stress questionnaire on it, which in my screening we have, and to say something like, hello, excuse me, do you know what we're doing here today? We're doing a quick health and stress check. Are you under any stress? Or we're doing a quick health and lifestyle check. Do you know if your life is going the way that you want? Have you thought about how your life is going? Have you thought about your level of health? Have you thought about the level of stress that you're under? These sorts of questions engage the person. And that's the most important thing, that we start to get them thinking about their life, about their world, and you as the grabber engage in a conversation with them. So they will turn around and say, yes, I am under a lot of stress, or yes, I do have a lot of tension at work, or yes, I do find that my life's not going the way that it should, or that I wanted to. And this is your opening. This is when you need to effectively connect the next step, which is a chiropractic exam, to whatever they've just said. So if your line may be, hey, do you know what we're doing here today? We're checking for hidden health problems. Have you ever had a cholesterol check, a dental check, a diabetes check? We're doing nervous system checks. And they'll say, that's interesting to me, or I do want to have that done. Your goal, your objective at that point is to say, what we're looking for is if there's anything in your nervous system that could be stopping your life being as good as it should be. What we're doing is we're looking for anything in your nervous system that may be putting on too much stress, that may be stopping you adapting to the level of stress in your life, that may be stopping you living your life at your greatest. It's going to take us 5 minutes to do that. We're going to be very thorough and see if these things are showing up and if there's something that you can do about it. So again, it's drawing in the person to their world, to their conversation, to how things are going for them. And it's for you then to start to get the details of that. Tell me about how stress is impacting your life. Tell me about how there may be some hidden health problems that may be showing up in different ways in your life. What is it in your life, whether it's in your professional life, your physical life, your sporting life, your family life, your hobby life, that you can't do as well as you should be able to? I'm going to show you how the screening that we do is going to see if we can connect those dots. If we can find the things that are stressors in your body where your nervous system isn't always working as well as it should, that may be stopping you from being able to play volley, to play paddle, to pick up your kids, to work as long as you want, to drive home feeling great, to be able to sleep well. That's where we make the chiropractic connection. But it's the opening question, the grabbing question. Hey, do you know what we're doing here today? Have you ever had a cholesterol check? Have you ever had a dental check? Have you ever had a diabetes check? We're doing checks for stress. We're doing check for your nervous system. Hey, do you know what we're doing here today? We're doing a quick health and stress check. Do you find yourself under any regular stress? Do you find yourself stressed out? Do you find yourself tense? Do you find your muscles really tight? These are the opening questions that then allow us to do the check. Now, the check itself should be very quick, very pointed, and very, very experiential. What that means is the person should feel the effects of the subluxations. And we only want to focus on one or maybe two very focused areas of the spine. Usually I just do the cervical spine and maybe the lumbar-pelvic, lumbar-sacral spine if someone has a burning complaint about that. Because it's a bit harder to reach down there, it's a bit harder to show people, but we can get in there with good experience. So if we're doing the cervical spine, we'll do a quick range of motion, left-right rotation, left-right lateral flexion, forward-back flexion extension, and then we'll do a palpation of the 7 cervicals, and we'll push on the points that we know are tight and subluxated so they can feel them. And then the really important thing is to get them to experience it and to connect it to whatever is going on for them in their life. You see this point here? This causes these muscles to be tight, which may stop you from being able to turn your head, which may be causing these problems that you notice when you're sitting at the computer all day, driving home at the end of the day, or not playing golf as well as you should. If you want to find out more, what we're doing is we're offering a full check in our practice. That check is a thorough history that goes into your whole history, your health history. And then we do an examination that includes not only what I've done here today, but a lot more thoroughly and a lot more extensively of your entire body. We look at your range of motion, your flexibility, your balance, your equilibrium, your alignment, your posture, and how your nervous system is running your whole body. We may also be ordering some x-rays so we can really understand the condition of your spine and how it's impacting you. And we're very interested to see how these things may be impacting your life right now, your life in the future, and how it's stopping you living your best life. And this is where you tie it in again to the thing that they've told you, how it's stopping you being able to play golf or work and focus in the way that you want, or drive on the weekend and enjoy time with your family. Whatever it is, you bring it always back to that point. So this is a very brief, thorough run through how to do a screening. Remember, there are 3 roles. That role may be done by one person. So you may be the person grabbing, doing the exam, the screening, and then making the appointment for them. But make it about them. That's the thing to do. Hey, we're here doing some screenings about the level of stress that you may be under. Are you under any stress? Do you find your body really tense? Hey, we're doing some screenings here to check for any hidden health problems that you may have. Just like, have you ever had a cholesterol check or a diabetes check or a blood pressure check or a dental check? We're checking the nervous system. Would you like to do that and see how that may be impacting the life that you're having and ways you can be living life better? Find out what it is that's limiting them. Do a brief, focused screening, postural check, spinal examination, and then lead them to want to find out more and coming into the practice. So thank you very much. Have lots of fun with it. Watch your energy and keep doing it better and better. This is something we get good at only by practice. Get in contact with me if you have any questions at all, and we can run through this in more detail. Have fun, guys.